I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Shelters in the Storm. It's a ministry within the ministry. And I don't have a lot of time to talk about it, but what I do have is a celebration of the two plaques that you see here of two homes that we built this year. One of them is the House 36 for Mary Cabalisa, and her sponsor is Paula Bonds. And it was donated in her mom and dad's behalf, Billy and Pauline Bond. And she's not here tonight, but she is at a watch party this evening, so she's tuning in. So hello, Paula, how are you? And Paula, we have this plaque for you, plus about 25, 30 pictures of the construction process that Shelters in the Storm does. So we're really excited about that. So this, this is the house that she used to live in. And you know, I've seen a lot of houses in the many years that I've been attending Uganda, and this ranks right up there in the top 5, 6 of really of houses that need a lot of work. And it may look structurally sound, but because it's made out of mud and sticks and cypress logs, and it's put together with mud and dung between the reeds that go horizontally, it's structurally sound for a while until the timbers underneath get eaten by termites. And many of the times when I'm looking at a house, I can really go to a corner and shake the house. And so we know that they're really in bad shape. But we changed the life of this grandma through the love of a sponsor, Paula Bonds, and her family that gave the funds to build her a new house. Hold on a second here. It's going the wrong direction on the clicker. So during this celebration for this house for Mary Cabalisa, it was raining big time during that day, but during every dedication, we stamped the house with a stamp, and it says God's Love in Action, Christ Aid International, House 36, September 26 of 25. And that's there permanently, and every house that we built has that stamp on it. We were able to let Bruce and Maggie stamp that house, so that was pretty special. Grandma, she gets up, again, it was raining, we're underneath the tarp, and she's giving speeches, and she's saying thank you for her sponsor, for Paula Bonds, to build her this amazing house. Changes her life. And I'll go back to this picture here. You can see Grandma looking down over Bruce and Maggie's shoulder watching the stamping. But she was very grateful. She gave a gift that will be given to Paula, and she's thanking all the grandmas for Jesus, because in this group there's celebratory, and all the grandmas come and cheer on the other grandmas for getting a house and praying that someday maybe we'll have a house as well. Her house, this is the house. It's a little distorted because the picture and the area in which we're taking this picture, and it was raining, but it's at an angle on a very, very small piece of ground. But I'll show you a picture real quick in a minute of the house that it looks like a duplicate of this house. This is a generational house, so this is a 100-year house, and it's made of brick and of stucco and solid concrete foundation, and will stand the test of time. The next celebration is House 37. And this house is for Grandma Tipista. And Grandma Tipista was donated this house by Vicki Vandenberg. And Vicki is not here tonight either. She's at a watch party, but she's listening. So hello, Vicki, and thank you for tuning in. And I also have a plaque here for you with many, many pictures of the construction, which Darcy has been sending to both sponsors during the construction period. This house it's not even a house. It looks like a shed. But this is the worst house that I've seen in 14 years. And this is 6.5 feet wide by 11 feet long, and 3.5 feet of it, as you see the opening in this house, is really for chickens or for a goat or whatever she might have in there. So they're living in a 6.5 foot by 8 foot dirt floor shack. And Grandma and her daughter have been living in this for 6.5 years. And inside the door, I had everybody that was at this party go inside the house, which just took a split second. They have 2 hammocks, one on either side of the door, that they're suspended above the ground so they don't get bugs and snakes and all kinds of things that come into this house. And everything they own is underneath the cots. So it's very humbling to see something like this. I saw this house about 1.5 years ago, and Grace brought it to my attention. One of the things we do is we travel and find grandma houses that are the worst of the worst so we can advertise them to the sponsors and hopefully get a house built for these grandmas. And so we moved this one right to the top of the list. And I'm real proud to say that during her speech, an acceptance speech, and if you see in that slide, it's such a small piece of ground that we had to rent, or the neighbor next door took down his fence. You can see a hedge on the left behind Grandma left on the left there. And the Grandmas for Jesus are in the tents behind it on the other person's property. And this grandma, this picture really doesn't do it justice. However, Vicki is going to get a lot of cool pictures of Grandma. This is the first time Grandma in her 80 years has ever spoken into a microphone. And every time she could hear her voice, she just cracked up. And she was laughing. She was bent over. It's like, whoa. Every time she heard her voice, she says, wow, this is cool. And I couldn't understand a word she was saying, but I could tell she was pretty excited about talking into the microphone. But it's so fun to see this blessing that this person that dedicated or gave the money for this house is doing to this person's life after 6.5 years. I don't know what she lived in before that. She's relatively a new grandma and new to the program, but by God's grace, we were able to, again, sponsor this grandma with a brand new house. And here we have Lori and her husband, David. Dave, they are stamping this house for her very first of hopefully many to come. And again, it says God's Love in Action, House 37 on September 25th. I can't really read it from here. But again, this is our 37th house we've built. And I must say, the party did start in this house. It wasn't raining. And this is how we party hardy. The grandmas love to party. And so we have a table there, and we danced, music's blaring, and we have a dinner and a meal. Speeches are given by everybody that's involved in the house. And for about 2.5, 3 hours, we're just having a blast out front. Grandma's dancing, she's twirling. She gets the keys from the person that is stamping the house, in this case, Lori, and from Bruce. And then they get to tour the house, and everybody that's there gets to go through the house and see it. So it's really a lot of fun, really a lot of fun. I want to switch that to the shelters real quick. I was going to talk about all our houses opportunities, which is amazing right now, but I'm going to keep it short and tell you that we have 3 really new opportunities to build houses for Grandma. And the price for the houses are getting expensive. They start at $12,000 for a generational 100-year house. But when I was there, I toured a house that, this is the 100-year house, block house. This is the same house in brick and stucco. But then I went to this house, and this is a hybrid house. And it looks identical to this house. This is 4 years old, this house here. And when I went to it, I wanted to see what a hybrid house and how well it would hold up over the years. In 3.5, almost 4 years, my engineer, Emma, Bruce mentioned earlier, and I went there, and we inspected the house. And it is like the day we built it. So this is the 35-year-old house. It would last 35 years, maybe longer than that. But it is made out of the local material, but we enhance it by putting cement on the inside, outside. It's still the local material of wood and mud on the interior, about 8 inches thick walls. But we put 1.5 inches of cement on the inside, 1.5 inches of cement on the outside. We put a cement floor in it. We changed the windows, the door, the roof, and we put a veranda, as you can see they're walking on, around it. It was made out of concrete and red brick that keeps the water away. So this house was in amazing shape, and I can build this house for $6,700 versus $12,000. And so I could almost 2 to 1. And so my thought was, what would we rather do? We want to give somebody a 100-year house, or do we want to have 2 grandmas possibly be able to receive the blessing of a new house? I'm not saying we shouldn't build these 2 houses. These are amazing. This is from our block press. This is from just bricks, red bricks and stucco. But if we can build this house from $12,000 to $6,500, it makes me think maybe that's a possibility to get more grandma's houses. And if sponsors want to build the other house we've been building for 12 years, great. But we also have a house that's a 3-quarter house. This is a generational house as well. This is Grandma Tapista's house that I just showed the celebration. I came back after the celebration. You can see her little shack down there on the right-hand side. The 2 bedrooms have been cut off on the right-hand side, but there's only 2 of them in this house. So I think the 3-quarter house, I can build this house at a hybrid at $5,700. If this house is a generational house with blocks or bricks, it costs $8,600. So there's like 5 options to build houses today that I think are going to be amazing for the ministry. Right now we sit with the shelters in the storm, which I passed that slide. I'll just mention them real quickly. There are 45 full-time shelters in the storm, and these gentlemen and 2 ladies build everything that Christ Aid does. And when you'll see all the slides from the office building to the teachers' housing to 37 houses and many, many other little projects that we do through the ministry with all the schools. These guys are amazing because they come from tough background. A lot of them, most of them, are on the streets with alcohol problems, drug problems. We brought them into this ministry because we needed employees to build the houses. Wow, 12 years later, we have a ministry within the ministry. Grace worships with these young men and women back in the building, which they built behind them there. And they've all received Christ as their Lord and Savior. And every new person that comes in hears about God and it changes their lives. These men and women, this ministry of Christ Aid, God is so good because we have a ministry within the ministry, and these kids, these young men and women, have a job, sustainability, and most of them have been with us many, many years. The 6 that we started with are still with us as supervisors today. The person taking the picture is Emma, our engineer. And between he and I, we orchestrate most of the construction that's going on there. And I just love this part of Christ Aid. But in saying that, again, I'll end with just this. We no longer have any more funding for any of the houses. We have just built the last 2 that we had funding for. So if it's in your heart, talk to your churches, talk to your Sunday school programs, talk to your businesses. 2 or 3 individuals can go together and build a house for Grandma. It's something that changes their lives forever. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.